Y'all, it's your boy King Eric the Great coming at y'all with another video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to my man, M-Town legend, Gangsta Black, for a dope interview that we did with him last night. We got a lot covered, man. We learned a lot about the history of Memphis. We learned about the slang, the pioneers. We learned a whole lot about Gangsta Black himself. And I'm definitely going to have that interview up in about 2 weeks. So you're going to see some clips and some highlights posted from that interview, so be tuned for that. But what I wanted to talk about here was Jeru Da Damaja. For those who don't know who Jeru Da Damaja is, Jeru Da Damaja was possibly one of the nicest MCs to come out of New York in the early 90s. He came out around the time where that boom bap, Tim Boot, grimy era was popping off. He came up around Nas and Buckshot, when those two was considered the new crown jewels of New York. Then Biggie. Those four there, Biggie, Jeru Da Damaja, Nas, and Buckshot. They were considered the top four in New York to blow. So with Jeru Da Damaja, he dropped The Sun Rises in the East, which was possibly one of the most New Yorkish albums I ever heard. DJ Premier did every beat on there, and he was dropping gems. I'm talking about You Can't Stop the Prophet, The Original, Come Clean. The album was entire industry as you can get. So that album there does justice, and he comes out with Wrath of the Math, where he just ishing on everybody in the music industry. And the thing was, he was mentioning names, most notably Puffy. And he had an issue with the Bad Boy Clique too. He had that song called One Day, you could look it up, where he was talking about he was trying to save hip-hop from going commercial, and Puff Daddy and Foxy Brown were notably named. And he caught a lot of heat for that song. He caught a whole lot of heat for that song. Puffy, I heard, was mad. Puffy was upset about that song, and he wanted Jeru, I think, blackball. And I think Foxy Brown's brother had some issues with Jeru over that. Then Jeru was also dissing the Fugees on that joint. He was going at a lot of people on that album. And strangely enough, after he promoted Me and My Papes, he just disappeared for a minute. I mean, then he came back with a third album where he was going against the Gangstar Foundation, I believe, allegedly. The 99.9 joint. Allegedly, that is. But what happened with this dude, man? Because the first two albums he did, he had Primo all over him. And after that, he just vanished. Like his movement just stopped. And he was a nice rapper too. He was dope. I mean, my question is, did he ruffle the wrong feathers? Did he have a role in blackballing this man? I mean, was it the fact that Wu-Tang was going the next level with the kung fu stuff that he was doing, and they just went national with it? They went levels with it. Or could it been that he just fell out with Premier or the Gangstar Foundation, and he just tried to get some new sounds and the crowd won't rock it with him? I mean, it could be a bunch of things, but I'm curious to know what happened to this dude, man, because his first two albums were bangers in the 90s. Straight, raw, gutter hip-hop that has great sound messages. Like, You Can't Stop the Prophet was one of the hardest songs, not because he's talking about shooting to kill anybody, but because of the gems he was dropping. Like, he was trying to save the black community and hip-hop listeners from ignorance. And that was a fresh concept at the time. So, if anybody know anything about Jeru Da Damaja, let me know. I want to, matter of fact, probably get him on a show to do an interview or something like that. But let me know what happened to this dude. If y'all got his Instagram, Facebook, whatever, get it to me, because I want to interview this man. So, this is King Eric the Great signing out. Let me know what happened to Jeru Da Damaja in y'all opinion, or do y'all have any information? If so, let me know. Holla back.